Ladies and gentlemen, it wouldn't be another day that ends in Y if we didn't have claims of racism from the mainstream gaming journalists. We have an article here from The Gamer by a journalist by the name of James Troughton that says that Assassin's Creed fans are calling out blatant racism in community amidst the Shadows backlash. You know what's hilarious about all this, man? These are the kind of people that genuinely will never actually support anything that they claim to be toxically positive about, because these people will always beg for free review codes. They will never actually spend any money on anything they say they will support, which is why a lot of these DEI oriented games always end up failing. The only games that are supposedly DEI infested that even have a chance at being successful are video games that came from pre-established IPs that were not DEI infested, and then suddenly they become DEI infested and hope that the name will carry them through. And yeah, sure, that happens sometimes here and there, but look at Dragon Age of Veilguard. That game found out the hard way that that doesn't always work. Now, again, guys, it's an absolute joke when the mainstream gaming journalists want to come out here and call somebody racist, sexist, bigoted, misogynist, whatever. These words have literally no meaning anymore at this point. They've utilized these words so much that people just laugh at them anytime they use it, and all it does is empower the people that they claim to hate so much. You know, those evil YouTube grifters. So let's get into this article, guys. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. Now, what you're about to read here is going to be a lot of cope, ladies and gentlemen. There's massive amounts of cope, because here's what people do when you talk about Yasuke and Assassin's Creed Shadows. They immediately try to compare the game to Neo, right? When they have Yasuke in Neo as a side character that's not even part of the main game whatsoever. He's literally just a side character that you can compete against, and that is it. And he's basically an anonymous figure, or at least a vague figure in history. They don't run around calling him the legendary samurai, the historically true samurai. They don't run around calling him any of that. He's just a side character and nothing more, because that's essentially what he was in history. Now you got Assassin's Creed Shadows doing something the complete opposite, which, by the way, Ubisoft had all the opportunity in the world to utilize real Japanese samurais that existed around the time of Oda Nobunaga. There is plenty of them to be able to utilize, but for some reason, they went with Yasuke, the guy who has a page and a half of actual real history that is so damn vague that 99% of the stuff that people believe in is made up crap from Thomas Lockley. And yet they came here and are trying to make an entire narrative around Yasuke and make him to be the hero of Japan. I shit you not. They try to call this man the one who represents the samurai spirit. How the hell does Yasuke represent the samurai spirit is beyond me. But of course, listen, you're going to have the shills. You're going to have the journalists, whatever you want to call them. You're going to have the people that rely on the mainstream come out and try to pretend like this is totally normal. Come out and try to pretend as if everything is okay. This is such a joke. And then on top of that, before we get into the article, man, the amount of gameplay that I am seeing from Assassin's Creed Shadows, from all the actual showcases and the shills that are streaming this game to their fans and convincing them that it's amazing, every single piece of gameplay that I've seen, regardless of who I watch play it, the game has been bugging out on them. Seriously, the game is bugging out on them. There was somebody that I was reacting to on Hypnocast, I don't remember, but he has almost 1 million subscribers, and he's sitting there trying to convince his fan base that the game is amazing. Meanwhile, he's smacking an NPC that is stuck, bugged out, and not even fighting him back. And that happens 5 times in his edited stream. I could only imagine what the live stream was like. So how are you going to sit here and try to convince people that this game is so damn amazing, all because it features a black lead? You are the problem. You are inherently the problem. You are the DEI slop eater, and the corporation are hoping that you multiply. But unfortunately, you are so few in number that you are getting trounced by the people you want to call grifters. But anyway, let's continue. After months of unending backlash to Assassin's Creed Shadows for having a black lead, fans are getting fed up. A post on the series subreddit shot to the top after one fan called out the blatant racism in the community. Now, of course, if you go to Reddit, it's going to make it seem as if everybody's agreeing with the leftists, right? Because Reddit is a leftist safe house, right? Think about it. They just recently made a rule where they are banning X-Links because they are so angry that Trump is in office, and Elon Musk, they blame Elon Musk for Trump being in office, that they're banning all X-Links on their platform. All that's going to do is make X more popular because people are getting their news and information from X. So that if they can't get it from Reddit, they're just going to go to X, and then Reddit ends up taking a hit for it. So they're absolutely stupid, but they're willing to do anything to protect their ideology, guys. That's what it is. They want to protect the ideology. They want to protect their thought processes. They want to protect what gives them the grift that they actually do, because they sell you this con. They sell you this idea that DEI is necessary, right? That black people, Spanish people, Asians, all these people never had an opportunity in gaming until DEI initiatives, right? That it was so racist back in the day that it was all just basically white men in these studios. It's an absolute fallacy. If you look at all of the old school videos from studios back then, and there's plenty of them, there's plenty of documentaries, there's plenty of behind the scenes, you're going to realize that it was just as diverse as it is today. The only difference is that there is a group of people that have realized after George Floyd that you can actually weaponize racism and sell it to your enemy. That's what they want to do, and that's all they've been doing. That's what these consultancy groups are for. They weaponize racism and they sell it to you, and then they give you the basically the fix for it. They sell you this idea that the industry is flawed, but they have the answer. They're the only ones that have the answer, and you got to pay them for it. Yeah, sure. Many in the comments agreed with the sentiment, pushing back against the backlash, pointing out once again that Yasuke is a historical figure. Yeah, a page and a half of history, and none of it showcases that he's a samurai. All they said that he was a retainer for Nobunaga. That is literally it, and that he ended up surrendering after Nobunaga fell. I mean, he was a failure, and that there wasn't nearly as much controversy over his appearance in Neo. That's because he was a fucking side character and not a main character in Neo. You were comparing apples to oranges. You're retarded. But anyway, Assassin's Creed Shadows has been a victim of impassioned ridicule and outrage ever since Ubisoft first unveiled that one of its two lead characters was black. Some fans declared it historically inaccurate and even insulting to Japan, despite Yasuke being a real historical figure from the era the game is adapting. I wonder why these people, who wrote this again? I wonder why these people, James Troughton, executive editor over at The Gamer. I wonder why James Troughton is not acknowledging the multitude of Japanese people that are calling it insulting. They only want to talk about the YouTube grifters, because at the end of the day, that's what these executive editors wish they can be, right? They wish they could be YouTubers, but unfortunately, they're failed journalists getting paid $2,000 a month or whatever. Like, that's not my fault. If you're angry at your job, go fix it, go get better. I really can't tell you what to do. But these are the kind of people that would ignore Japanese people. These are the kind of people that would ignore the actual real criticism coming from the homeland, and they want to pretend as if all that Japanese text that is on Assassin's Creed Shadows videos are just white people using Google Translator. And you guys, I'm not joking. They literally said that. I'm not joking. That was a comment from the urinalists themselves. But anyway, things got so bad that Ubisoft issued a lengthy statement addressing the backlash. Now, let's see what the Redditors have to say really quick. Assassin's Creed Shadows has revealed just how ugly the gaming community is. They wrote, I've been a gamer for my whole life, but I've never seen people act more feral about a game than they did with Shadows. Okay, number one, if you've been a gamer for your whole life and never seen gamers argue about a video game like this, then you must be very young. I'm just telling you the truth. You must be very young, because I've been around for a long time, long enough time to understand and to know that gamers have been arguing about video games for decades, my guy. Literally decades, okay? If anybody's been around since World of Warcraft day one, you guys been around. Anybody remember the forum arguments about casual versus hardcore? It was one of the biggest arguments in gaming at the time, and is the reason why there is so many quality of life or you know, I guess I wouldn't even call it improvements, but it's the whole reason why that World of Warcraft got casualized so much is because of the argument of casual versus hardcore, which went on for years, by the way. It went on for literally years, where gamers were fighting against each other, where you had people who had jobs, they say they had jobs, they don't have time, whatever, and then you had people that were hardcore, all about it, want to put in the effort. Bro, it was insane, the level of fighting. So if you are trying to say that Assassin's Creed Shadows is one of these games that are just, you've never seen anything like this, then you must not be either very cultured as a gamer, or you must be very young. Anyway, I'm talking about blatant racism, bias, and openly admitting to wanting tens of thousands of people to lose their job. I'm just sick and tired of this. So then you know what you do? Get off the internet. Plain and simple. Get off the internet. If you are complaining about people fighting about a video game, you need to get off the internet. Go play your games with your toxically positive friends who are going to lie to your face about this game being totally fine, having Yasuke as a main lead character in feudal Japan. They're going to be all for it. So go be toxically positive and get off the internet. I am tired of these people who complain about what they see on the internet, and yet they choose to partake in what they see on the internet. It's like, you're not even talking about, it's one thing if you're talking about a product and you're trying to critique it and say there could be things that are different, or you don't understand why things are this way when there were other options that would have been much better. There's different ways to critique things, but just being on the internet, bro, if you can't handle it, just get out at this point. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.